My name is Steven. I'm a 32-year-old office worker. I got married 2 years ago, and I have a wife the same age as me. I met my wife through a study group. My wife, who was a career woman at the time, retired when we got married. She is now a social media influencer. She shares tips and advice about having a career, and it seems that she has a good number of followers. I'm not very tech savvy, so I haven't seen my wife's posts or anything. We also bought a condo a year ago. My wife said that if we put it in joint ownership, we could get a mortgage deduction. I long to have a house over a condo, but I love the location of the condo. Everything we need seems to be close by. But in reality, I don't get to go home very often. I work for an event company, so I travel a lot. I feel bad for making my wife feel lonely. It was decided I had to go on a long-term business trip. It looks like I won't be back for a year. I don't want to make my wife feel lonely anymore. I couldn't stand not seeing her for a year myself. So during that time, I told her we can rent out our place and asked my wife if she could come with me on my trip. My wife was not in the business of choosing where to live, so I thought that she would come with me. Even though I was so sure, her reaction was different from what I expected.
What? But I can't be apart from this place for a year.
I was in shock. You can do your work elsewhere, so shouldn't you be fine? I asked her.
I like this town, and I feel relaxed in this condo, and also,
She said that and placed her hand on her stomach. She rubbed her belly endearingly. Could it be? Before I could think, my wife gave me the kindest look I had ever seen.
Yes, I'm pregnant.
I forgot about the shock of my wife not being able to follow me on my business trip. I was so happy at this moment. Finally, a child. Our child. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to be with her, but my wife said I didn't want to change the environment because it was an important time for us. So I decided to put my wife's health first, and then I left on my year-long trip alone. I will come back on paid vacation around the time of the baby's birth. After all, the first thing a man can do is work. I have to protect the life of my wife and my unborn child. That's what I decided to do. I left for my new post the following week. Since she is pregnant for the first time, living alone will surely be hard and lonely for my wife. I tried communicating with my wife by video calling her as much as possible every day. Since I often came back late from work, I would talk to my wife in the morning before I went to work. I even asked to see her growing belly, but my wife said,
I can't do that. It would be too embarrassing.
And I only ever saw her upper body. Fortunately, she has no morning sickness, so she was in good physical condition. I was so happy to hear that she was in good health. Suddenly, my boss said to me, "Go ahead and take care of your wife for a week." And he gave me a week off. It's been 2 months since I went on my trip. I was so happy, and I called my wife as soon as I got home from work, but I couldn't get through, probably because it was nighttime. It wasn't that late yet, but I had heard that pregnant women are always sleepy. I thought she must be going to bed early. And the next morning, I told my wife that I could come back next week. I thought my wife would be happy, but unfortunately, my wife's reaction was surprising.
Huh? You can't do that.
Apparently, she has something going on. I don't have to be with you during the day, just at night would be fine. Even when I said that.
No, it's not possible at all. I'm not even going to be here when you get back.
She firmly stated this to me. I was not satisfied with her answer, so I texted her. I'll try to make sure I get back around the time you're done with your errand, so can you tell me what time you'll be home? A little while later, I received a reply.
I'm supposed to go to my parents' house that day. I'm sorry, but I've already booked my flight.
I'm sorry, I was worried about you being all alone. If only I had known a little earlier. Sorry again. It can't be helped. I felt bad for making her worry, and also for never being able to spend time with her because of my work.
So when you come home, there will be no one there. Do you understand?
My wife kept reminding me. I replied that I understood and ended our conversation. Now, it was decided I'll be taking a week off where I won't get to see my wife. Since I have nothing to do, I thought I would tidy things up around the house and get baby items while my wife was away. And I decided to go back home. My wife kept saying that she wasn't at home. It seemed a little unnatural. I am sure that she is pregnant and cleaning is a lot of work, so she is not able to do much. I won't be able to be with her, but I'm going to clean the house and get all the baby stuff ready so that the newborn and my wife can live comfortably together. I went home without informing my wife, since she kept reminding me that she won't be home. When I get home, I'll clean the house and relax. Then tomorrow, I'll go shopping for baby supplies. I was excited as I made my own plan to suppress the sadness of not seeing my wife. Then, I arrived at the apartment. I felt the atmosphere at the entrance was a little different. My wife's hobby is flower arrangement. She always had a small pot of flowers at the entrance, but since it wasn't there, maybe that's why, things felt a little off. I guess she must be physically exhausted. With this in mind, I take out my keys out of my bag and put it in the keyhole. Huh? Something's wrong. The key doesn't fit. I checked several times to make sure I had the right key. It was the right one. I didn't know what was going on. Anyway, I called my wife.
Hello? What's wrong?
Hey, I can't unlock the front door. Did someone try to pick our lock?
Wait, what? You're home?
Yeah, since I have nothing to do, I thought I'll come home and clean up.
But I told you I won't be home.
Sorry, I thought I should surprise you. I was worried that our house got robbed, but my wife was calm. Then my wife told me something terrible.
Nobody picked the lock. I sold the house.
I didn't understand and kept silent.
Are you listening to me? I sold our home.
I don't understand. I thought this was some sort of prank, but she kept talking.
Since you're there, I guess it's no use keeping it a secret. I thought about hiding it a little longer, though. Let's get a divorce. I've been lonely for a long time. You never came home. If I get all the money from the sale of our apartment as child support, I don't need any more money.
I still couldn't comprehend what she was saying. Wait a minute. You can't sell the condo without telling me anything, no matter how much it's in a joint ownership. My wife laughed and said,
You know, there are a lot of good ways to do things nowadays. I mean, it was actually a successful sale.
Apparently, she had asked someone to handle these gray area procedures. I wondered if such a thing was allowed. What about her child? I was barely able to make the question out.
I told you I was going back to my parents' house. I'm about to catch my flight, so I have to go. I'll send you the divorce papers so you can file them. Bye.
And then she hung up. I see my place of return was already in someone else's hands. I stifled my voice and cried at the front door of my previous home. Everything was happening so suddenly, and I was in shock. I was strangely calm, but I knew it was painful to stay in this place. For now, I decided to go back to my job. What a crazy day off it was. I called Alice several times, but she didn't pick up the phone. A few days later, I received the divorce papers at my workplace. It was dully filled out. I filled out the form, sent it to the government office, and that was the end of it. As I was filing out the divorce papers, I asked myself if I really wanted this to be the end. I knew that everything was too abrupt, and I was not satisfied with the one-sidedness of the divorce. And more than anything else, I felt sorry for the child. If the reason for the divorce was my job, I would have quit right away. I care about Alice and our unborn child more than anything. I tried calling Alice again, but she wouldn't pick up. I had no choice but to call Alice's parents. I felt awkward because they knew what was going on, but I knew it was not the time to be thinking about that. Then her mother answers the phone in a cheerful voice.
Oh my God, Stephen, it's been a long time. I know you're busy, but please come visit us sometime. Please tell Alice the same thing.
I thought Alice was supposed to be at their home. I questioned Alice's mom about this. Alice told me that she's at your place right now.
Then her mother says, I've not seen her since your wedding.
What do you mean? Alice is not at home. Her mother probably doesn't even know that Alice is pregnant. We never talked about it. I didn't want to confuse her. I pretended not to know anything about it and hung up the phone peacefully. She lied about going to her parents' home. She had sold the apartment, and I wondered where Alice was now. I still couldn't reach her. I decided to get information from Alice's social media. I downloaded the app, which I was unfamiliar with. It was hard to find Alice's account, but I was grateful that she was active as an influencer in her own right. I finally managed to find Alice's account. I looked at her posts. I saw that she hadn't posted anything for a long time. I looked at the comment section to see if there were any clues. Then I saw a comment that caught my attention. I was wondering if you could help me. Were you in LA last weekend? I thought I saw someone who looked like you. I'm sorry if I made a mistake. Similar comments came here and there. LA? To look for more clues, I opened the list of accounts that Alice follows. I found an account of a bartender as it looked promising to find some leads. I went there and found information about a bar in LA. No way. But since I had no leads, I had no choice but to search from here. I headed to LA before my paid time off was over. I'm in a state of mind where I have nothing to lose, so without anything to fear, I went to this shabby bar and found the bartender from the app. The bartender gave off a completely different vibe than me. As soon as he saw me, he had a surprised look on his face. Of course he would. Why would an old man like me come into this sort of bar? I went on to ask him, "Do you know this woman?" And I showed him a picture of Alice. The bartender said, "Yes, I know her. he answered simply. He told me that she's a customer that comes here often, and she plans to come here today too. Who would have thought I would get to see her again here? I explained the situation and asked to be sat down next to her. The bartender had no idea that Alice was married, and he awkwardly cooperated with my request. I told him that Alice was pregnant, but he said it was probably a lie. Apparently, Alice drinks a lot at this bar, so the pregnancy was also a lie. Why did she lie about it? Did she lie just so she can continue coming to this bar? At that moment, I finally felt anger. Did Alice think I was that stupid? Alice's one-sided behavior until now told me that. I would never forgive her. With this in mind, I waited for Alice to come to the store. Then, Alice came to the store without knowing anything. The bartender and I were waiting for her. Alice's face was tense.
Wait, why are you here?
It's because of your followers. They've written about the sightings. Why don't you take care of that?
So, what do you want?
What do I want? I was trying to get you to reconsider the divorce.
Oh, I see.
Alice didn't know how to act, but I continued talking to her without hesitation. But I decided not to do it. We'll stay divorced. Please take good care of Alice, Mr. Bartender, but I'm going to charge you alimony. Then, the host became impatient and said loudly, No, I didn't know she was married. I was deceived by her too. Please get out of my house today. Then Alice begins to cry.
I'm sorry I lied to you, but you told me you were going to get married. That's why I've been coming to your bar every day.
I'm stunned. She really believed that? Alice is such a stupid person. No, you wouldn't have said that if you were married, so please don't get involved with me anymore. I've already made enough sales, so you don't have to come to the store anymore. With that, the bartender left the bar as if he was running away. Alice and I were left behind. As it turned out, the pregnancy was a lie. She said she wanted a reason not to move out so she can continue to go to the bar. She said that she already had no money from the sale of the apartment and that she had used up all the money at the bar. Then Alice started to cry and came to me.
I'm sorry, I was wrong. I was so lonely that I made mistakes. You're the only one I care about. I will follow you wherever you go. Let's start over again.
I couldn't stop laughing. She had to depend on me to make ends meet, and on top of that, she probably couldn't afford to pay me alimony. Despite my feelings of pity, all I could do was laugh. I couldn't believe that the child I'd been waiting for was a lie. Then Alice's phone rang with a notification. Well, I guess Alice was too busy to think about it. She ignored it and cried desperately to me. It was a storm of notifications. The beeping and beeping never stopped. It's so loud, why don't you check it? It might be an emergency or something. I said that, and Alice checked her phone. Alice's expression stiffened. I checked her phone and found a storm of messages on Alice's account. Alice's number of followers were decreasing rapidly. It seems that there was a follower of Alice's in the bar, and they were spreading the news of this scene live. Although there were no pictures or videos, the rumors about her being seen at bars had been circulating, so the story was believable.
I was disappointed. I can't believe you. What do you think you're doing with your life, lying about being pregnant? I feel sorry for your husband. I can't believe she's spending all that money on booze. Influencers make a lot of money.
Various comments were left by people disappearing from Alice's account. Alice broke down in tears. I was too embarrassed to be here, so I told her, Well, I will contact you through my lawyer for more details, and left the restaurant. Of course, the divorce was granted. I also filed a claim for alimony. I didn't need to pity her at all. She had sold my place of residence without permission and spent the money on alcohol. After that, Alice disappeared from social networking sites. She returned to her parents' house in tears because she had no place to live. It seems that she also borrowed money from her parents to pay for the alimony. Her parents apologized to me and gave me an update on her recent situation. She is working day and night to repay the debt. Since Alice was dazzled by the glamorous LA, I think she must be stressed out about her life in the countryside. I don't have any plans to find a new partner just yet, but I've changed apartments and no longer have to worry about being transferred, so I bought a new apartment with the alimony as an added bonus. It's a family-type floor plan. I don't want to buy a house under joint ownership anymore. Well, I hope I can meet a partner with whom I don't have to worry about such things. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. We look forward to seeing you again. Please subscribe to our channel.